Hi everyone. I'm here today to give you a variety of things to use in your myofascial release self-care healing practice. Whether you have a yoga block and they come in different sizes, or you can use they have the skinny pool noodles, which you can use those as well, or you can use this thicker pool noodle. A little harder to get in New England around January. And then there are various size foam rollers and things you can use, but what you want is something that has a little bit of a give to it. Some of the foam rollers are really hard, and I wouldn't advise using them. Just like with the balls, you can get different densities. This is filled with air, and I really filled these balls. They're like 5-inch right now instead of 3 or 4. They're foam balls that you can use. But I'll show you how to do, and if you don't have any of these things, I also have sandbags, which you can buy the bags themselves anywhere on Amazon, anywhere they sell yoga supplies, and you just get the sand from Ace Hardware or whatever, Home Depot, whatever hardware store is near you. So this is just a pillow, but it's a semicircle pillow that I have in a case. So you can use a rolled up pillow. You can get a small pillow and go around it with duct tape if you want to create a firm surface. You want firm, but you also want pliability. And so the ability to get comfortable, get a blanket, get a yoga mat or a nice soft rug or some exercise mats that you can lie on where you have something firm, but something that has a little give underneath you. And just think about the area that you want to work on. So today I'm going to talk about the sacrum and working on this area of the body. I also have over here some of the wider yoga blocks that you can cut on an angle. This is just a yoga block that was cut. My son did it with a skill saw, but you can do this with a bread knife or a serrated knife even. And you take that, and then you have these two things that you can use to support your body in all kinds of different ways. Maybe it's your shoulders that need support. Maybe it's your hips that need support. So I'll just demonstrate a few different things that you can do. You want to be able to create a space where you can just get comfortable. And maybe comfortable for you is that your head is supported while you're working on your hips. And so I can take the yoga block. My shoulders and my neck feel nice and supported on this cushion. And I can put the yoga block firmly underneath my hips so that my hips and my sacrum are all supported right now. So if I were to engage my muscles, I could then do a bridge like this. I could get that yoga block and put it up, making sure to balance and stabilize, making sure that it is safe. I can add a little motion till I feel it's in the right spot that is supporting me, whether it needs to move up a little or down a little. And then I can just rest my hip bones. I can roll side to side, just allowing them to settle in. And maybe this is really a stretch for you and this is too painful. That's not the goal. Then just do a smaller elevation and relax into it. Focusing your breath and just feeling into that area of your body. And what does it feel like to have that sacrum be fully supported? And again, maybe it's through that block in this position, or maybe you get a block on either side and support yourself on the diagonal. Or, quite possibly, you take your foam roller and you balance your sacrum on the foam roller. Now immediately I notice that my shoulders tend to come up near my ears. So I just want to be mindful that as I'm supporting the sacrum, my shoulders are not creeping up by my ears, that I'm consciously opening the chest, opening this front body, really allowing the lungs to fully expand. And with every exhale, making sure you're breathing all the air out. And then if you'd like, you can put your legs together and point your toes to the ceiling. Just feeling, again, where you're feeling supported. I'm playing with the movement to see where's the best angle for me to get feel good pressure. Just the right amount of pressure. There should be no pinching, no stabbing. If there's anything like that, then please disengage, because that's not the point. And as you see, I can then play with lengthening my legs down to touch the floor, the mat, and even as I extend one leg, noticing where I'm feeling the stretch in my body. Feeling supported in the sacrum. Am I noticing a difference from one side to the other as I'm elongating, raising, and lowering my legs? And then what if I bring my hands to my knees? Rolling my shoulders up off the mat, away from the pillow if there's a pillow under your head. Just noticing how the sacrum feels now. Maybe adding in a little movement from side to side, as if you were supporting and gently massaging that area, the sacrum, the entire pelvic bowl, allowing it to settle in. You can even do a modified cobbler's pose in this position. And again, experiment to see what feels good for you. Maybe this is something that you hope to achieve at one point, but you're just not there yet, and that's okay. Even if your legs are together like this, then you can slowly experiment using your hands to support. And maybe this is as far as you go. You can also use a strap, and it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. It can be a strap from a bathrobe. Just wrap it around your ankles, and maybe you start out here, and then eventually you can pull closer and closer. But rather than going to, let me push it to the edge and see how far I can go, play with these positions. See what's comfortable, and see, now I'm pressing my forearms into my inner thighs as I'm grabbing my ankles. And I am pressing out with a little pressure because this is a good stretch for me. It's not painful. It's a great hip opener. And so now I'm doing all this while still having that slow, steady, sustained pressure on my sacrum the entire time I'm doing this practice. So play with it. Feel into your body. See if a little movement is appropriate. Or maybe it's just relaxing into that position. Maybe you begin to experiment rather than dropping your toes to the floor. How far behind you they might begin to go. For this particular one for myself, I notice that my neck does not need this pillow if I'm going into more of a back bend. And I can push the support down, rolling it toward me as my feet come back as if I were going over to my head. And you have to find again what's comfortable for you. You might explore movement here. Feeling that your back is supported the entire time. The goal is never to push beyond a barrier, but rather to gently sink into it. And maybe at some point your goal is to touch your feet behind your head. And how do you do that? Daily practice. Never forcing, just allowing. In whatever position you find yourself in, always making sure you're being supported. You can play with ankle movement, circles, flexion and extension of the feet. And notice, I'm feeling that particularly today in the plantar fascia on my left foot, more so than my right. And really allowing yourself to begin in these daily practices to tune into your body, to feel what is going on in your body, to notice what feels safe, and when you're in a space where it doesn't feel safe. And what's the difference in your body? Make it your own practice every day with any one prop or option that I give you. You can move your body or be still with your body, experimenting with different positions. To build a practice that is unique to your body. Just the idea that you're spending 5, 10, 15 minutes. You can do an hour-long practice if you'd like. You cannot overtreat when you're not forcing, when you're following the principles of Barnes myofascial release. I really do love the weights. They're just a nice way. I use them in treatment sometimes, calling them my second set of hands. But they're really great to just give a different depth of pressure that you wouldn't otherwise be able to achieve. And every time you come to the mat to engage in some self-care, to tune in to the rhythms of your body, to the messages your body is giving you. Know that you've done something good for yourself. Now I lifted and just rolled that out. Now I can lift and hug the knees and rock them from side to side. One of the great things we do is create space in our bodies and space in our breath and space in our practice. And so I thank you for spending this time with me today, and you can let me know what you want to see more of. And I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.